So as you're going through this course, I want you to think, where do you live? Where do you want to invest? What type of strategy and what type of property do you actually want? Now, strategy is going to change a little bit for whether you want commercial property or whether you want a single family or a retail building. So thinking about where you would like to invest is very important, because you may not live local. So if you get, if you're sending mail out and you're getting calls back, how are you going to evaluate these properties, right? Are you going to fly there? Are you going to drive there? Do you have a team in place to handle this? And so I really highly suggest, if you are new to real estate, to start locally. If you are not new to real estate and you have a team that's across several states, in the position I'm in right now, then absolutely, you have a wider spectrum that you can basically look for and send mail to. However, I want to challenge you on something. Just because you have, a 30-minute drive, you want to keep your radius within 30 minutes, that's fine. But what would you have to do to scale a business a lot faster and larger and get outside of that 30-minute window? What if it's 3 hours? What if it's 7 hours? Right? Now, I want to challenge you to think about that, because for me, the only way to grow, and I'm not driving 2 hours to go look at a property. It's just not happening, right? It's not feasible. Those 2 hours, I can be doing something that's a lot more valuable, like hiring someone to go look at that property. So again, the challenge here is, where are you living and where do you want to buy property, and what type of property you're going to buy, and how are you going to market that, and how are you going to go look at those properties, and how are you going to analyze those properties. And so what I'm getting at here is, you need to have boots on the ground wherever you're going, whether that's you at first, whether it's a property manager, whether it's a contractor, a partner, team members, whoever it's going to be. You need to have somebody locally in that market for this to work. And so I'm going to give an example of something what I did, which immediately helped me grow from 30-45 minute drive to 3.5 hours. And so what I did was, I started vetting property managers in New Hampshire. Now, I lived in Rhode Island, so New Hampshire can be anywhere from 2.5 to 6 hours away. And so I started vetting property managers, telling them what I'm doing. I'm sending mailers, if I get a property, would you be interested in going looking at it? And I talked to about 15 of them, and one of them came across to me super motivated to grow his business. And so what I ended up doing was, every time a property came up from a direct mail, I would actually have the property manager go, and we had an agreement that he goes and looks at the property. He's actually a licensed inspector as well. So he basically gives me a brief inspection of the property, walks it, gives me his pros, cons. If I end up buying the property, he gets the management of it. If I end up selling the property, he can be the agent on it. And so we had a mutual agreement where I began to trust him, he began to trust me, and we built this relationship. Now when I send these letters, I don't have to go and drive to see properties, and he can do it for me in New Hampshire. And as I have the same thing in Georgia and Florida right now, Massachusetts and Rhode Island, I actually have a local team as well. And so that is one way to scale this on where you're going to buy and what type of property you're going to buy.